So sacred music is the handmaiden of the liturgy. That's its role. And it has two goals in accomplishing that role. The first is always to glorify God, and the second would be that it leads to the edification and sanctification of the faithful. Sacred music gives more nobility to the Mass, and the music that we sing in the Mass kind of gives us a foretaste of that heavenly celebration. So that's what we're trying to do here on earth when we give sacred music to the Mass. And it's holy. The Vatican II documents say that sacred music is more holy when it's more closely aligned with the action and spirit of the liturgy itself. And so we always want to offer the best that we can for God. And so it's holy also in its form, its goodness of form. And that's not only the text of the sacred music, which should always be from sacred sources, but it's in the way the music is put together, in its compositional style. We want to offer the best things to God in the church. So we want, of course, the decorations in the church to be beautiful. We want a beautiful crucifix. We want the altar to be made of the best quality things that we have. And music is supposed to be the same way. So it needs to be music that's worthy of the temple, worthy of our Creator and our Savior. Well, with the glorification of God and the sanctification of our parish, our people of our parish, always at the forefront. So that's goal number one, that the music always accomplish those two things. But also that what we do musically actually be according to what Vatican II had to say about music, which is a long view of our rich tradition. It calls the tradition of the Church a treasure of inestimable value. And that's a 2,000-year-old tradition that we have. So the music that we sing at Mass and the music that the choirs perform will be taken from all of that grand tradition. So from early chant, Gregorian chant melodies, into the modern masterpieces that are being written today. And that's reflected in the music that we do. I also want music to have the goal of encouraging that Eucharistic revival, right? So that the music is always aimed toward what's going on in the Eucharist at the Mass, the source and summit of our faith, and so the music supporting that idea. So when people go to Mass and they experience the real presence of Christ, that the music can help amplify that experience and give them that foretaste of heaven here on earth. So the first and most direct way to get involved with music at the Mass would be to join the St. Gabriel choir. We have a choir made of all levels of musical abilities and vocal talents, so you don't have to have the greatest solo voice the world's ever heard, but you can come join a community of people who give something back in a very meaningful and beautiful way, providing music for the Mass. The second way, I would say, is if you're interested in the history of music and learning how music is put together and learning how to read music on the page, I would encourage people to join Exploring Music, which meets every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. And it's a great way to learn about the musical heritage of the church, to learn about music history, to learn about notation, what is a score telling you, and to be able to read music on your own. So that would be another way. In the future, starting in September, we're also putting together a Spanish language choir that would primarily sing for the Spanish Mass. And so I'll have more information coming on about that soon. And for people who are interested in learning more about Gregorian chant and that tradition of our faith, I will also be putting together in the summer a Schola Cantorum. And so we will be learning how to read chant, learning how to perform chant, and then learning the music that we will then sing for certain masses.